Okay, so we are started with the broadcast. I'm going to share my screen. So this is what we, kind of an example so far. Yeah, so let's just start here. Do you want me to show you what I've got so far, just to start with?
Sure.
Okay, so just as an introduction for anybody watching, this isn't like the final approval stage, because I know that I haven't heard back from our instructor yet officially, but I gave him an email like 2 weeks ago, and he got back to me and said, it sounds like a great idea. He had some questions about how I'd implement local storage and things like that. So I sent him another response, kind of explaining to him how I was imagining doing that. And he sounds like he's excited by the idea, though. So that's good.
Okay, so you've already had some communication with the instructor.
I have.
Oh, okay, is it worth me seeing those, or?
Yeah, actually, that's a really good idea. In fact, from the get-go, what I should have done is just CC'd you on them. I didn't take the time to look up your BYU Idaho email.
Okay.
And so let me include you on those from this point forward. It was very casual, so I didn't really think to, but yes, that should definitely happen. Let's see if he's responded.
You don't want to just use my Gmail account?
Yeah, I guess I don't know what I was thinking. I could have just done that, huh?
I mean, I usually check my email account a couple before when I wake up and before I go to bed, but otherwise I don't have it open.
Okay.
My Gmail is open all the time.
This is taking its sweet time to open, so I'm just gonna let that do what it does.
Did you register for next quarter?
This is my final semester.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So, well, hopefully, right, if I pass my classes, but it's looking that way, so.
Yeah, oh, great.
Sometimes it does this. I don't know if your email ever does that, but it kind of like, there we go. They should do it. To reload it sometimes. Okay. So I will forward these to you. If I forward this one, will it forward the whole chain to you? Do you know?
I don't know. I can tell you.
Okay.
I'm not sure how that processes.
It looks like it will. Okay, so your email is Michael. I've got your BYU Idaho one right here.
MAKV is my Gmail account.
MAKV.
There's no Michael in there.
At Gmail.
You have to put 4, the number 4.
At the end, right?
After the Y.
Okay. Let's see if I got that right. Looks like it.
Oh, I didn't want you typing. I was looking at my Gmail account to see what comes in. Nothing so far. Oh, here it goes. I just heard the beep on my phone. It always rings on my phone first.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, so email chain from Blankenship.
Yeah, so I think if you go to the bottom.
Wait a minute. I got 2. I got good question, so I didn't get the question. I got the one that says good question. I'm thinking, wait a minute, maybe. Sounds like a very cool idea.
Okay, so that was his response to me.
That's only 2. I thought you said you had 3 back and forth.
Oh, I thought I did. Okay, let me send you the one that you're missing then.
Oh, you got 4. Oh, one of them's to me. Okay. Yeah, I don't have the original.
Okay, let me send you that then. It's the original one I sent him.
Okay. I'll have a look at that offline.
Okay. Yeah, so I just sent him the API idea, like what we would use. And then I started to kind of see if that would be a good way to go. He seemed to be excited about it. He just had some more specific questions. So as you read it.
I just looked at it, and it's just a blank header. I mean, it just has the from, to, subject, app idea. And there's, oh, wait a minute, I got to click on that. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to click to open it. Okay. Okay. Continue.
Okay, so this is the app so far. All I did was put in a title, a body, and then I did some JavaScript, because the thing I'm most anxious about the project is, can we make AJAX requests successfully? Because if we can't do that, if we can't connect to their API, that's where we're going to spend probably the majority of our time having headaches, is around the API.
Okay.
But what I want to show you is that I already set that up. You can actually pull this up in your browser if you want to. I can message this to you. And view it for yourself. All I've done so far is I wrote some AJAX to send a request, just a dummy request to get a specific album ID. So if you open up your console, it will show you this big all JSON thing.
What did you send me something?
I did. It should be through the
Chat?
group chat thing in your Hangouts.
Hmm.
Or you could just look on my screen, because I've got it up right now. But so that's what I've done. So if you look at the console here, you'll see all this data that's being returned. And then I'll show you, this is the code for it.
Okay. Well, I guess I could, it must be in your GitHub.
Yeah. Yeah, that URL I sent you is the public GitHub link.
Okay, so you have this in your GitHub?
Yeah.
What's it called, the file?
Oh, yeah, that's true. You can just pull that up. I'll send that to you as well. Let's see.
Oh, I have the link to your GitHub. I saved it.
Okay. Yeah, so the file that I'm referencing there is requests.js.
Request. Okay. And that's an AJAX request?
Uh-huh. I just created a general function. So what this does is it makes you pass in the URL endpoint, so the API endpoint that you want to make contact with, then the request type, which is either going to be a GET request or POST or delete, whatever is appropriate, and then the callback function. So whenever I get a response, I pass in the data to my callback function. And then in my app.js, actually is where I do my example. So I've got my API endpoint here. And then I append the specific request I want to make. I want it to be a GET request. And then this is my callback function. So all I'm doing is printing it out in the console.
Okay.
So that's bare bones, but that's all I've done so far. So essentially, I just want to make sure that things would work and get it up and running. And then just kind of show you that, see what kind of direction we want to go from here.
All right, and I called up your GitHub. I thought it was under JS folder.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so
I don't see it in the JS.
Are you in?
Oh, do I need to go to branches?
I created a new repo, actually, just for our final project.
Oh, okay.
You might be in the old one.
I'm in the old one. Well, then I will need a new link then. Okay. Or just tell me, I mean, it's connected to this, right? If I go to Blankenship, is it?
It's called CIT 261-Spotify-app.
Oh, okay. It's not a repository in this one.
Okay, so if you just, were you able to find the chat in Google Hangouts?
I'm looking now.
Should be the look on your left. There should be a chat icon at the very top left.
The only thing that opens when I look at, what do you mean the upper left? The only thing that opens, the only chat that opens is this Hangout right here.
Okay, let me do this. This will be easier for you to find, I think.
So how about, or I can, here, let me send you something. Okay, I just sent you something. Did you
Okay.
get my chat?
I did. I'll just send it right there.
Okay. Oh, now I got it in the other one too. It did come in the, okay, so now I got it in both.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, there's like a specific Hangouts chat, but I guess it's weird. I don't know.
I don't
Anyways,
know
but
why it
that's
didn't come up. You said, and then what did you send before that?
they're both the same. I think I just sent them
Oh.
two different places.
Okay. All right. So I see. So now, oh, Spotify, and Spotify is the site that's the .com that we're using.
Yeah, so Spotify is the name of the API that we're going to reference for this app.
Okay. So now I'm looking at your code. And the second file is what this one is, the callback, or what did you say?
So requests, I created the request so that we could have like just put our Ajax stuff in its own file.
Right. I see the request, and then I also see one that's called app.js.
And then this is me actually using the request function.
Do these two talk to each other? Are they calling out each other or something?
Yeah, so the way that that works is in my index.html.
Oh, okay.
Scripts right here. So since requests comes before app, requests.
Oh, I see. They're both called out in your index. Okay.
The only other stuff I've done so far is I created, I'm using some Google fonts. So that we can specific fonts for this app. So you see they're not like the generic fonts. And
Yeah.
then I've got my main CSS.
Okay.
And then you can
All right.
view that here.
And you got the main. Okay. Why did you want to have some special fonts or something?
I thought if we're gonna make an app, might as well, have it a little bit unique. We can take those out too if the instructor doesn't like that, but yeah, it's just me dinking around with styling a little bit.
Okay. Oh, I think I'm gonna borrow your boilerplate.
Oh, so that's why I created that, and I'll update it as well.
Yeah.
But so for the app, I'm assuming we're gonna have different pages. So I'll create a generic one so that way, anytime you want to create a new page, you can just copy and paste the boilerplate and then fill in what you want.
Yeah, I finally got NetBeans to talk to my my GitHub.
Nice.
I tried for a couple weeks trying to learn the GitHub desktop.
Okay.
I couldn't figure out how the two talk to. I mean, I could see my GitHub with the GitHub through the GitHub desktop, but I didn't. It wasn't like it was very easy to edit or anything.
Oh, I see.
And then
So
quite by accident, I got NetBeans to work. I was trying to make a project, but then I found out that that's not the goal. And not to make a project, but to put it in favorites. And once I had it in favorites, a tab on NetBeans. Once I had it in favorites, then I can edit it in favorites, and then I can go back and forth, pushing and pulling and committing and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So I finally got it just, last week.
Nice.
So yeah, nice. And now I gotta catch up and put all my code in there. So I was looking at this boilerplate. I think I'll use that as a starting point to start popping my code in.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'll keep that. I'll update it for you too. That we got something to go off of. But yeah, I got this nice little feature that I use in my editor. So I use Atom. If I wanted to create like, let's say for example, like a new file.
Mm-hmm.
Come in here and do new file, and call it just test. And then all I have to do, I have something installed called Emmet, EMMET, which is, it allows you to do like little shortcuts. So if I wanted to do a div, I can go like that and it creates it for me. I just have to hit
okay.
like little shortcuts. But if I want to do an HTML document, all I have to do is the exclamation mark and then hit tab.
Oh, I see. Wow.
So that's why.
Okay, I'm cutting and pasting still, but although NetBeans helps with, every time you type in one element, tag element, then the other one comes in.
Yeah, NetBeans is nice. I've used it briefly at another job, but yeah, it's got some nice stuff for you.
Yeah.
This is what I'm thinking. So instead of doing branches, it might be, if we're going to both work on stuff, what we could do, it depends. Because if you're feeling comfortable with doing branches, we could both, you could do like a different branch and then we can merge them. But if you want to just work on master together, then we can go about this process a couple different ways. One way would be just kind of having different areas that we work on, that we don't conflict. So for example, like I could focus on styling the app, and then you could focus on processing data. So maybe writing some functions that process the data that's returned, or whatever we decide to do.
Okay.
And then we can both work on different files and things like that. So
okay.
it just depends on what you think is best or what you're most comfortable with. One thing that could happen if we're both going that way is we might end up editing like the same file, like app. And if we're both working on master, we might overwrite each other's changes, which could be not so fun.
Yeah.
Or if you want to clone the branch, make your changes, and then when we meet together like once a week, I can see what you've done, and then I can put it in myself. That way we're not worried about overwriting changes. We can just like, I can just take your stuff, put it in my repo, and then fit it in.
Okay. I haven't done it that way before, but
Have you done branches before in NetBeans?
No. You mean as far as collaborating and with branches and through branches?
Right.
I mean, so what? I would have a branch where I'm modifying, and you'd have a branch where you're modifying, and then the two come together somehow?
Uh-huh.
I have not worked with branches. I've collaborated in the Java game. Last semester we had the Java game, and we had three in a team. And we just made sure that we pulled before we pushed, before we committed.
Oh, okay. But you just all worked on master?
We all worked on the master, yeah. And we did.
Okay.
I mean, there were some times where there were conflicts, and one guy just like said, "I'm just deleting my clone and I'm recloning it." To have the latest. He would copy the changes that he had made, which I never had to do it, but that's how he handled it. He would copy his changes if they found some merging conflicts, because we didn't know how to resolve the conflicts a lot of times. So he said, "No, I just got rid of my project in NetBeans," and then he would reclone it, get the fresh stuff, and then he would implement his changes.
Oh, okay.
So it was kind of tedious. So I don't think we did it right, but we managed.
Yeah, it depends, because I think the easiest way would be to use branches, but that kind of involves learning something new on top of what you already have to do.
Yeah.
So, what this is probably okay. So I'm trying to think through it. What would be the easiest?
Well, tell me this. If I mean, you basically started this, so you're the owner.
Okay.
So if you created a branch for me and you worked in the master, then is that going to, then you can look at what I did that way, right?
Yeah, I think that would be the easiest way to do that. I do agree. So let's create a branch for you.
The first branch I created on GitHub was when I had to do the GH pages.
Okay, so MKV.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. MKV is fine.
This will be your branch.
Okay.
So then we have two branches now, master and MKV. So whenever you work, let's see.
How difficult is it to learn branches?
So let's do a live thing real quick. The only thing that's gonna be different is that you're gonna do this in, you're gonna be doing this in NetBeans and not in the terminal like I do it.
Yeah, I think so.
So branch, so I'm gonna go back to master. So what I'll do is now that I've created a branch, it should reflect in my terminal. So here I'm on master, you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I've made the change on the GitHub repo where it's stored, so I gotta pull down my changes. And you see here, it says
New branch.
new branch MKV. So then I wanna go get checkout MKV. So if I go now make a change, if I go to my index and then I'll delete this line, say Michael KVs. And then I'm gonna see that there's a change, so I'm gonna commit added in KV paragraph, whatever. I'm gonna push to your branch. So what happens is that whenever I switch to a branch, it does it locally. But this shows me here that I pushed my changes up to the remote branch, which is right here. So it shows that I just recently pushed a branch. So now I'm gonna refresh this. You go to MKV, look in your index, and it's got Michael KV's branch here. And then if I go to master, and I look in index, it's got the original stuff.
So I have a copy of everything that you have in my branch.
That's what it will do. It will make a copy of everything from master in your branch. Then you can make whatever changes you want to do, and you'll just push the changes up to your branch.
Okay.
In NetBeans. And when you do that, what I'll do is I will pull down your branch and I'll merge it into master, and then I'll push to master. So I'll be the one responsible to merge changes and make sure everything still works. And then I'll push it back. So you won't have to worry about, oh, did my stuff break? Daniel's stuff. You just push it up and then I'll review it, see what you did. I'll merge into master and then make it all play friendly together.
Okay. All right then. So and then I'll do what I did with my GH pages, which was I cloned the branch, and then
Exactly.
I'll have it in my favorites, and I'll be able to change that stuff.
So in order to clone the branch,
Tell me this: how does, like, if you make changes, how can I get, like, if I were to make changes on my branch, but I didn't have the latest stuff, how do I pull down your stuff into my branch before I start working?
it's a good question. So I think what I'll do then, I'll work off master and I'll push to master. But whenever I make changes, I'll go in and make sure I update your branch as well.
Okay, so then I don't. All right, because that has to be done by the owner then, I guess.
Yeah, in this case it will be. Well, another thing I could do is just create a branch for myself. This is one common workflow. So generally when you're working on Git, no one does any work on master.
I see.
You just clone from master into a branch. So I would clone into like a D Blankenship branch, and then I would make my changes. And then when I'm done, I would merge that into master. And then you would make changes. And then when you're done, you would merge into master.
And my branch doesn't talk to your branch then.
So then what you'd have to do is you'd have to merge master into your branch to update it.
And I'm still not getting the
But
your
if I
merges down to my branch.
But if I've merged into master and that's updated, you would pull the changes from master, then merge that into your branch.
But that was the original question. How do I pull down from master the latest stuff into my branch? It has something to do with that new pull request that I'm looking there?
I think the easiest would be to avoid what I was just thinking out loud there.
Okay.
Because what we're doing then is we're introducing a lot of steps. You know what I mean? So what we could do is you work on your branch, I work on master, and then I will be responsible for keeping your branch up to date.
Okay, well, okay, maybe I'm making it more complicated than it has to be. I didn't want to be where I'm working on a branch that doesn't represent the latest changes.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was kind of thinking out loud because I'm thinking through it, and the only thing I don't like is if we're both working on master, then we can override each other's changes, which we don't want to do.
Yeah, it gets messy that way.
So I think instead what we'll do is we'll have you on a branch, I'll work on master, and then since I'm the owner, I will make sure the branch and master stay in sync.
Okay.
Which shouldn't be too hard, because what you'll see here is whenever you make changes, as long as you push your changes up, it will notify me.
Right.
It shows here that, oh, there's a change to that branch. So as long as you push to your remote branch, I'll be able to see it. And then whenever I start working, I'll merge and make sure they're in sync. The only times that we're going to be out of sync is when you've done some work and I haven't. Or if I've done some work and you haven't. We'll just have to make sure that whenever we start working, we communicate that way.
Well, if you push down to my branch your changes, and can you confirm that you can do that?
Yeah. So, for example,
how would you push from masters down to my branch? Because what I'll do is I will pull from my branch before I commit changes and push it.
Yeah. So what I'll do, I'll show you my workflow. I'll git checkout master. I'm on master. So the first thing I'll do is I'll git pull. I'll do my work. So I'll just say doing some work. I'll be doing work, and then I'll commit my changes, and then I'll push up what I've done to master. And then I'll go check out your branch. And then I will say, is there anything on your remote branch? So what I'm doing there is I'm checking, hey, has Michael done any work and pushed it up? So if you had, then what I would do is I'd go, okay, now I've got all his recent changes. I'll go git merge master.
Okay, so you're not even going to do this in GitHub.
Yeah, so what I would do is I go git merge in KB. So what I'm doing there is I'm merging your changes into master. Uh-oh. And it says we've got a change. So then I'll go, okay, where was that at? An index. Okay, so now I see that it's updated master with your changes. So I'll just be responsible for going through and doing that.
Is that the master? Is that the master's index?
Uh-huh.
Oh, so it took the new title that you put there?
Yeah, so it took the changes from your branch.
Okay, so you don't have that that false text in there anymore?
No. So if I go git push now, then I come here. Oop. It's got that on master now.
What happened? Oh, and you're looking at master now?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that, what's that called, that fake text, that loma sum or something?
Yeah, lorem ipsum.
Lorem ipsum?
Yeah, it's just Latin.
Okay.
So yeah, so whenever, and then what I'll do is I'll say, I'll check out your branch, then I'll pull the latest changes, and then I'll say git merge master. So once I'm pleased with what's in master, I will merge master into your branch.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing to merge right now, but what that will do is it'll update your branch, and then I'll push up to your branch. So you'll just have to make sure that you pull down the latest changes.
Okay, see, you're doing all this through Terminal. I thought you were going to have to do it through GitHub, but you just do it right here.
Yeah, I do it through the terminal. That's why I use at work, and so I'm most comfortable with that.
Okay.
One thing I'll try and do for this project is I'll try and keep us in different areas.
Right.
So that way we're not working on the same files.
Right.
So, I mean, this seems like pretty involved for what we're doing. So it's kind of a backup. It's just in case we both happen to work in the same file, and it just allows us to track changes and things like that. So
okay, I'm glad you know how to do that. So
yeah, and that way you're not you can focus on the subject material of the class and not the, I don't know, all the tedious stuff behind it, if that makes sense.
okay.
I guess one last thing is, as far as like working on this stuff, I know you're going to be working on kind of getting your code topics together, right, before week 10.
Just a moment. Janice, you have to turn that down. Okay, could you repeat that?
Oh, no problem. So up until week 10, you're going to be working on code topics?
Up until week 10, I'm going to...
Getting your code topics finished?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to stress you out with this stuff yet. In fact, if you're okay with it, I can just kind of get a head start on the basic layout of the app, if that's okay with you.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Unless you don't want to, yeah, I don't want to rob you of working on the app. I just thought it would be good to get a head start.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's good that, and I thank you for it, to at least look into the Spotify and see if you're going to come, if it's going to be, if it's going to flow as easily as we hope.
Yeah, so I'll continue working on this stuff, getting it I'll try and this upcoming week get it styled and things like that, and then we can work together weeks 10 through 13 doing some of the stuff like CSS transitions, so that we can go over those topics together.
Okay, I think before we're gonna meet again Monday, right? Before next Monday, I'll clone the branch that you just created, and
Okay.
I'll put a file in the branch, and then see that it transfers over and that you get it, and you can put it up into
Okay.
the master, play around
And
with
then-
it or whatever.
And then Monday, what I'll do is I'll just let you do that stuff, and then I'll check, and then we can just check together on Monday. That's another question I was going to bring up. Do you still want to meet together twice a week or once a week from here on out?
Well, yeah. Well, actually, next Wednesday it's going to be a one visit week because I have to go down to my daughter's college in San Luis Obispo, clean out her garage. They rented an apartment, or not an apartment, but a house with 3 other girls, and
Oh,
the place is a mess. I've already gone down there like 3 times, and now finally we're going to get to the garage.
okay. Because this is my so next week we'll meet on Monday, but not Wednesday. That's what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay. So what I'm thinking from here until the end of class, maybe we can take it from meeting twice a week to maybe just once a week. And then if you remember back to the very beginning, whenever Caitlin created that Trello board, this was like
No,
very,
I don't remember.
this was like, it was going to be a board that had different items that we'll be working on, and then it just lets
I'll
you.
have to look for it.
So don't worry about that right now. I'll be recreating it anyways.
Oh, okay.
What I'm thinking about, what I'll be working on is breaking down the project into small little bite-sized components. And then that way, when we meet once a week, we can assign who's doing what and kind of just coordinate and figure out what we're stuck on or whatever. That way we can just kind of coordinate that way.
Okay. I mean, we can always add another meeting if we need it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm thinking, is that we can say maybe once a week, and then if we need to have an emergency meeting or something, we can do that.
And so that would be on Mondays from now on then, especially if we're going to miss next Wednesday. So we'll just start meeting Mondays.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. And then if we need another meeting, we'll just add it.
Yeah, we'll just fill it out. I think we'll just kind of go along with it as we go. But I'll try and have the Trello board set up so that we can have the workflow, get that started for next week.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I've got.
Okay. And I don't need to look for that thing that you made in week 1 or 2, huh?
No, don't worry about that. I'll create something new.
Okay.
Because I think Caitlin was the owner of it anyways, and she's not here. So.
All right.
Okay, that's all I got. Any other questions?
No. Thank you very much.
Okay, awesome. I'll see you on Monday.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye.